eating healthy was really secondary in our home, so we really ate out of the freezer section.
We've trusted that all the products out there, from the fast foods to the items in the grocery store, that those are all healthy for us.
My diet was terrible. It was whatever was fastest, whatever I could throw down to refuel as quickly as possible, and that coupled with my insatiable desire for sweets, it was not good.
As far as our approach to healthcare, whenever we were sick, generally the first thing we would do was head to a doctor's office and look to them for our first role of guidance.
There's never been a more important time in human history to consider knowing everything that you can about health and healing. We've had diet plans around for 30, 40, 50 years, and the health of this country is getting worse and worse and worse in the process. One of the primary reasons that we're struggling with health in America is we're looking for health in the wrong places. Our doctors in this country study disease, and they study the diagnosis of disease. The problem with that is if we're just waiting for everyone to get sick and then managing disease when it shows up, we're not preventing things. We're not actually taking full advantage of the body's innate ability to heal itself.
I had just been through a really stressful event and it was affecting my health. My immune system wasn't the greatest. I was suffering from depression, and the medicine I was taking wasn't really helping that much.
There would be times when my blood sugar would just go off a cliff and my body would start shaking, and I would just be searching for the fastest thing that I could just shove into my mouth to try and stabilize things.
Weight has always been a little bit of an issue, I guess, with my wife and I, and you're always looking for the answer.
I have 4 kids, but 3 of them that were dealing with asthma issues.
And we're looking for answers that we haven't found through the traditional systems.
He just turned a year old. Mason, it has been a battle for a year having him on Prilosec, and it's an acid reflux battle that we've had.
Talked to Jake, and he said they were putting on a new class that was kind of a support system, and this sounded like something we thought could be very useful to us, and we're just amazed when we got involved with it.
I was struggling with arthritis in my right ankle. For 20 years I couldn't run, I couldn't do the things that I thought athletically I should be able to do, and it put me in a position where I finally just needed to figure out what I needed to do differently.
Healthy for Life University is a 12-week course that is designed to walk people through the various different areas in their life where they can learn more about what actually is going on in their health and take control over the factors that have impact on whether they end up experiencing sickness and disease in their life or whether they end up experiencing health and vitality. I think the reason that I have so much passion around this subject is I've been affected by health problems in a family. I lost my mom to cancer when I was 11 years old. She was diagnosed when I was 7, and I experienced 3.5 years of basically every weekend taking a trip to whatever hospital she was in. The second thing is personally, I grew up as a kid who had a major weight problem. I was morbidly obese, and I was told by everyone that I would have to accept this. This is just the way my genetics were. I was going to be husky the rest of my life. And I found out very quickly that once I applied myself, I was able to get complete control of my health.
A lot of thought went into the layout and the sequence and the order of the lessons, and he explains things very well. And as I said, it just is at a level where it makes sense.
It's so complete and so comprehensive. It takes you from the very beginning of why you want to do the things in a different way to the results that you're going to receive.
A lot of it involves scientific information, hard fact. It's not rumor, it's not the latest product or idea somebody is selling. We look at how the body really works.
It's just common sense, but why isn't anybody telling us these things?
You know, with Healthy for Life, I really felt it was really these 12 amazing classes that were just eye-opening for us, and learning how to make the proper choices for my family in order to keep that out of my body has been just absolutely eye-opening for me and life-changing for me.
I'm very much a why person. You know, I like to know the whys behind things. And when you learn the whys, you very quickly realize that what's being touted in mainstream is not congruent with the whys.
Through the class, we found that, you know, there's a lot of things we can do to prevent the problems. And so it's just been very, very exciting to be a part of it.
It's important that people go through a course like this, because once you learn what your body's actually capable of and you understand what things in your lifestyle are actually affecting your health, what things around you can be impacting your health in a positive or negative manner, then you have control and you can take back your health situation and actually get healing and health, where a lot of times we've been focusing on just disease management. Because the body has the ability to heal its own problems, what people learn through the university course allows them to grab control of their health situation and stop depending on a pill to manage their symptoms. In the Healthy for Life University course, we walk with them through the subject matter. It's extremely interesting to find out how these things, what actually is going on underneath all of it. And once people learn that type of information, they actually begin to interact with the thought process of how they're going to change their lifestyle. So it's not being told what to do, it's a process of actually moving through and changing the way that we think about our health, our body, the environment around us, what we're putting in our body. You think about it completely differently.
I mean, Healthy for Life, in my opinion, it's not a diet, it's not a quick fix, so to speak. What it is, it's a complete lifestyle change.
Our complete approach to health has changed, and we look at it totally differently, and we manage it differently thanks to this program.
It really forces you to think about your food and your nutrition, your movements, your medicine that you're taking.
We're armed with the tools, we're armed with the information, and we're armed with the resources that we need to provide an example for our children and to provide ourselves with the healthy lifestyle that we need.
You know, I wish we'd come across something like this 20 years ago, because it's a lot easier to prevent something than to cure it.
Being healthy for life is one of the things that we're extremely passionate about, because we know that when people are healthy and they're living life and they're not sick and they're feeling well and they're not coming down with things all the time, we know that people experience life to the fullest. They're able to be happier, they're able to serve their communities better, they're able to be better moms and dads and aunts and uncles and, you know, sisters and brothers and all of the things that we've been called to do in our lives. In this country, we're really accepting a lot of the disease that's happening to us. And it doesn't have to be this way.
I haven't needed my antidepressants in months, and so that's wonderful.
I am just on so much more of an even keel. I've not experienced the blood sugar plummets or the highs. It's phenomenal, really.
Going from not being able to ever run again to now running a half marathon. I ran the Des Moines Half Marathon last summer, and it's an accomplishment that most people don't even ever get to do, and I was able to accomplish that through this advancement in my own understanding of my health.
To see him come across the finish line, that one brought tears to my eyes. It was fantastic.
Both John and I have asthma, and since we started practicing some of the Healthy for Life ideas, we've been able to stop using our inhalers.
We strip down to the basic level of nutrition. And what I found is that we haven't used a nebulizer in our house in over 3 months. It's just allowed me to be a dad and to not worry about if they're going to suffer through an asthma attack today?
I've had arthritis for 30 years, and right now I've been off for 6 months of my medications.
As part of the plan to pull Mason off of Prilosec, we implemented an organic probiotic with him. Slowly, we gradually pulled him off of the Prilosec while keeping him on the probiotic. I think his attitude has improved in terms of his behavior. I think he's actually done better as he's come off of the Prilosec.
I haven't used my asthma medication in months. I used to suffer from eczema and psoriasis. I haven't needed any of those medicines. My skin cleared up. My skin looks better than it has since I was a teenager.
I've seen definite changes in my skin, like, age spots going away. And
We've got control, a lot more control than we realize if we're willing to exert the control and make the efforts to improve our environment and our health situations.
One of the most exciting things in science over the past 100 years is we've begun to understand that genes do not rule our health, that our lifestyle and our behaviors and our thoughts and our actions actually have the dominating effect over if we end up with disease later on in life, or if we're sick, or if we're healthy and experiencing energy and vitality. Healthy for Life is about the vitality in life, not just being alive, but living and actually experiencing health and experiencing energy and all of the things that people want to accomplish in their life. That's really what Healthy for Life is all about.
And it allows you to give a much greater perspective on how you live your life.
all these healthy things in our life does make you feel more energetic, and it feels better about the things that you're doing.
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend Healthy for Life. It's a life-changing course.
The healthier you are, just the easier it is to enjoy life.
I think we're both very confident that we've got what we need to move forward.
I would recommend Healthy for Life to everyone and anyone.
I've seen it work, and I think the more people try it, they'll see what works for them.
This has changed my life, and I would highly recommend it to anybody.
You know, I could spend a fortune, but the cost of this program, I mean, you're not going to find anywhere that you're going to be able to receive this kind of information that's going to impact your life in this way for the cost of the program.
If you truly want to take control of your health and your home, Healthy for Life University is what you need.
So in Lesson 1, we begin the course with the awakening. And the whole concept behind the awakening is actually revisiting a lot of the things that we've been told about our body over the past many, many decades that have been shown to actually not be accurate. And it helps bring hope to people when they actually find out how amazingly the body was made and all of the facts about their physiology and how it works, and how healing is actually the norm for the body and health is actually the norm for the body, opposed to a lot of what people are experiencing, which is sticky health problems, frustrating health problems, and having their health decline as they age. These types of things we go over in the awakening and actually help people realize it can be a lot better. Lesson 2 is where we start on nutrition. And when we talk about the science of food and physiology, we help people understand the very basic core of nutrition and how it interacts with your body's cells and systems. Lesson 3 is one of the most important parts of our nutrition section in the workbook. And Lesson 3 focuses on food sourcing. In the food sourcing lesson, which we call Shop Till You Drop, is the entire concept around how we think about food and how we purchase food now, and how we need to change how we think about food. A lot of us don't even know where our food comes from anymore. We don't know what's in our food. We just accept the fact that if it's being sold on a shelf, that it must be safe and it must be healthy for us to eat. Well, that has changed a lot. Processing of food, how it's raised, all of these things have changed, and we go through every aspect of how food should be sourced in Lesson 3. Prepared and Dangerous is Lesson 4, and that is all about meal planning. Most people think that meal planning should be the first thing in nutrition, but we actually save meal planning for a little bit later because food sourcing is actually one of the subjects that has to come before it, and understanding how your body works and how it interacts with nutrition, which is lesson 2, is important as well. Lesson 4 focuses very, very heavily on beginning to get a habit of meal planning in place, planning and preparation for your food, and how getting your strategy in your home doesn't actually have to follow a prescriptive meal plan. It can be flexible because everyone is different. Top Chef is lesson 5, and the whole concept behind lesson 5 is how food preparation and becoming more skilled in food preparation can help save you time and money in your meal plan. Most of us either haven't been taught how to work with food, or we haven't worked with food in our lives, so we think it's difficult. In lesson 5, we go through all of the steps to help people begin to pick up knives again, to go and get and focus on whole foods as being the core of their meal plan, and to start getting that into their day-to-day habits. Lesson 6 is based on smart supplementation, and a lot of people wonder, what is smart supplementation? The focus that we have in Healthy for Life is to teach people what supplements actually are essential to human physiology. Because there's all kinds of vitamins out there. There's thousands and thousands of choices of all of these different types of things. And a lot of times it's wildly confusing because we see in the media, this vitamin is important today and that vitamin is important tomorrow. In lesson 6, we break it all down, make it extremely simple to understand, and help people begin to focus on what are the essential nutrients that we really have to focus on getting either in our meal plan or filling a gap with a supplement. Lesson 7 focuses on environment, and this is a really exciting lesson for a lot of people because a lot of times we've never been told about environment. So lesson 7 actually ends up being one of the lessons where people learn a whole lot of different things, and it helps also identify some things that people actually didn't know were a problem in their health, or exposing them to challenges and chemicals. We go over hygiene products, cosmetics, cleaning, and even electromagnetic radiation, which is another subject that many people have never really thought about. So lesson 7 talks about our environment, how our body is actually affected by our environment around us, and what we can do to protect ourselves from it. Lesson 8 we named movement, and movement is all about exercise. It talks about functional exercise and really gets away from the old American commercialized view of what exercise is supposed to look like, which most people think you have to be going to the gym 6 times a week, you have to be exercising for an hour at a time. In lesson 8, we break it all down. We make it very, very easy to understand, and we help give people the key points of how to find an effective exercise program, how to build a program out of your home, and how to feel awesome by using movement every day. Lesson 9 is one of those lessons where it kind of goes back to old school. We go back to natural family care. If we all think back, we can think of our grandmas and their grandmothers and their great-grandmothers. We all took care of the first aid type of stuff in the home. One of the things that lesson 9 helps families do is become reintroduced with kind of the first aid in the home, what we can actually do when we have health problems pop up, and to realize that we don't necessarily need to go running to the doctor every time we have a sniffle or a cough or an ear infection or something like that. That we actually can use a lot of the natural therapies that have been used for hundreds of years by many, many, many generations. So we go through the different types of things that can be used in natural family care and how to begin using it in the home effectively. Lesson 10 is one of my favorite lessons in the entire course, and it's all about renewing your mind. Understanding the relationship between your mind, the brain, and the body is one of the most powerful things that someone can do for their health. Realizing that every thought that we have, that every feeling that we have is directly affecting our physical health on a day-to-day basis, it helps to give people their power back and actually helps them change easier. As we all know, you can't start a meal plan, you can't start an exercise program, and you definitely can't change your lifestyle without making a decision to do it first and a continual thought process that supports the type of change that you want to accomplish. Lesson 10 helps people wrap their minds around it, understand the process of how thought turns into their body's health and what they can do to make it better. Lesson 11 is Medicine Revisited, and the entire concept behind Medicine Revisited is to help people understand all of the different options that there are in seeking out health professionals. Another thing that we teach is how to understand insurance and how health insurance can be used within your family's home, and also where it shouldn't be used, how we've been misusing health insurance for a long, long time. So Medicine Revisited focuses heavily on helping people learn the landscape of health professionals that are out there, how to seek them out, how to understand health insurance, and how to get active in their own health. Lesson 12 is called Bringing It All Together. The reason we ended the course this way is because we actually are able to take an entire hour and go through step by step how to implement all of the things that we went through in the entire course. From nutrition, to supplementation, to environment, to movement, to mind-body, to natural family care, and finding and keeping good physicians. All of these things are brought together in Lesson 12 in a very easy to understand manner, and we help walk people through the process step by step.